Let it be known that in the year of our Lord 2018, the bots won the war against Blank Media Games in town of Salem. That's right, the bots have won the war. Very unexpected, very unexpected. The bots won. The bots won. Town of Salem moves away from free to play. God damn it. Blank Media Games is killing off their free to play version of the game. Getting rid of basically all the. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say they're getting rid of the accounts, because I'm sure the accounts will still be there for people who pay. But they are locking away into the vault the accounts of all the free players who have played the game for years upon years on end, making them inaccessible to players unless they pay to play the game. Yeah, so what's the backstory with this? Some disgruntled people who worked with Blank Media Games on things. They volunteered and worked with Blank Media Games, like in the trial system and moderating, things like that. Some disgruntled people basically broke off from Blank Media from town of Salem, and one of them, I think at least one of them, I don't know, the exact story of who did what, but at least one of them created bots to spam town of Salem. And they basically spammed it into the dirt and made it unplayable. Blank Media Games had no measures in place to work with bots or spam or anything like that. They had no measures, no safeguards after all these years, because they're not about making safeguards or making their game good for everybody. They're about making cosmetics to sell and different things like that. So yeah, fuck, it's crazy. The bots were created basically to expose that Blank Media Games hasn't been working on anything they're supposed to be working on, that they don't know what they're doing. And the bots actually said to buy Coven because bots couldn't be in the paid version of the game. So whoever made the bots was like shit posting and trolling Blank Media and Town of Salem, different things like that. But what do you know? They actually took the bait, and they're going to make the game pay only, killing off a huge section of their player base, cutting off their own nose to spite their face. So yeah, Town of Salem is crippling itself because the bot makers forced it to. Yeah, it's a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing. Instead of working to get rid of the bots for more than like a month, I think that has it been a month even? Has it even been a month since the bots started? Instead of working for more than a month to get rid of the bots and to prevent spamming and to prevent this from happening, they are just making it pay only and killing off the game for all the free players that they had and destroying their user base. Okay. By the way, Town of Salem's still middling in its numbers on Steam. Not very good numbers on Steam, but yeah. Now that there's even less people in the game, less people to play with, there's going to be probably maybe more waiting time, less full rounds, which will drive away even more players. So this wasn't the right decision. Blank Media Games, this was not the right decision at all, but fuck. I mean, I part of me, because Blank Media Games has been so money grubbing, and so, they've scammed Kickstarter multiple times by running fully funded and overfunded Kickstarters and then not doing what they were paid to do in the Kickstarter. So they've scammed Kickstarter enough times. They've, updated their game only for cosmetic stuff and things to sell, for the most part. So they are very money grubbing. So part of me wonders if they're not just using the bots as an excuse to move to pay only. Like, maybe this was an opportunity for them. Maybe they sat there and said, we got these bots here. It would fix it if we went to pay only. And plus, it would be really lucrative for us if we go pay only. What if we force all the free players to buy the game? Now, of course, that's not going to, I don't think personally that that's going to actually work. I don't think it's going to translate into a bunch of sales. But yeah, when you take away the free game from people, I think that makes them a little less inclined to pay you. Because they probably are mad at you? I don't know. For the most part, at least. I'm sure a bunch of people will. But yeah, we're going to read the post here. I haven't read this yet. This is by Shapesifter, one of the developers, apparently. He used to be the community manager, but now he's a developer, I guess. I've been gone for a while, so. But yeah, Shapeshifter, who's one of the developers, he's also a relative of one of the two guys who started the company, who has, all his relatives staffing the company, and yeah, nepotism. And you wonder why the game, hasn't progressed, very much. It's probably because you're hiring people based on genetics and not skill. But yeah, Town of Salem moves away from free-to-play. After careful thought and consideration, for less than a month, is it, since the bot started? I don't think that's, actually careful thought and consideration. We have decided that taking Town of Salem away from free-to-play model is best for the continued health and community of the game. In other words, they're doing this just to stop the bot inundation. The first sign of trouble, the very first sign of bots, the very first sign of rounds being unplayable, they take away free-to-play right away. But yeah. What does going pay-to-play mean for me as an existing user? And you'll have to excuse me because, as I said, I haven't read this before. You are most likely already grandfathered into the new system. All existing accounts with at least one game played, or who has ever made a real money purchase, Steam, Web Premium, Mobile Premium, Coven, promotions, etc., are already grandfathered in. So you're grandfathered in and you're able to play the game for free, I guess? If you have one game played or you've made a purchase? Because what's going to stop the bots and all the bot accounts from playing one game and then being grandfathered in? What's to stop the bot maker from registering 1 million accounts and having them all play one game without spamming and without letting on that they're bots, so that they're all grandfathered in and they're all in the paid version to, be released over time? I don't know. And are already grandfathered in, aka you still get to play for free. We didn't grandfather in all accounts to prevent bringing a bunch of bot or alt accounts into the new system. So, to prevent bringing in bots, they're going to leave out a ton of real players. Think about that for a minute. To avoid bringing in a limited number of bots that they could easily ban as time goes on over the next year even, however long it takes. Instead of bringing in those bots they could ban over time and make them less and less and less until there are zero. Instead of doing that, they're going to make it so that a bunch of people don't get grandfathered in too, like real players. Okay. A grandfathered account does not mean you now have a premium account, however. Oh, there's a premium fucking account? Really? If you hadn't already purchased premium, you still will not get the double merit points after the change. But you will be able to continue playing TOS for free. I don't, all of this stuff was after my time, this premium thing, this merit point shit, whatever. Why did we make this change? Because of bots. Yes, I see it's going to say that. As many of you are aware, in the recent months, we have been isn't it less than a month? Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe I'm incorrect. In the recent months, we have been attacked by a group of botters and scripters spamming the chat, making false reports, game throwing, and all around ruining games. That's the job of the players, but drum rim shot. We have done many things to combat these bots, but at the detriment of future development. Okay. Not really. We have tried... It's not to the detriment of development if you're not developing the game. Let's be honest. We have tried auto-detection of common bot phrases and suspensions based on these. The bots were able to turn this against normal users by tricking them into saying these phrases while changing their bot to say other things. Yeah, common sense that you shouldn't have thought that was going to stop anything. I think people actually said to them, because you can look on the forum and you can look on the subreddit for Town of Salem, you can see people saying, don't make it go for phrases, that's stupid. And, they were told way ahead of time and they knew that. This led us to try logging their IPs and IP banning them, but they would just rotate their IPs between accounts. Again, that's already known. Normal users would sometimes then be assigned these banned IPs, meaning they couldn't log in anymore. Next, we tried altering our client and server networking code to break third clients. Within a few hours, they had decompiled our SFWs, looked at the source code to fix their third-party clients, and were back to botting. Now, since they were sending the CAPTCHA questions unencrypted, I have no doubt that people very easily got into their stuff because they don't encrypt things. They don't, have any security. We added email verification to make sure that only valid emails could be used to create accounts, but these users used forwarding emails or sites such as 10-minute email to make temporary emails that were valid long enough to activate the accounts. That's why a lot of sites don't accept emails unless they're from a whitelisted email provider, like Gmail or, even fucking Yahoo or Hotmail and shit like that. But, I'm just saying. Then we added CAPTCHAs to several parts of the registration process to make it harder for them to register accounts, but again, they found ways to get around it or go straight through it. You didn't encrypt it. It's you guys' fault that you didn't encrypt the questions and the CAPTCHAs. You handed them the answers. That's silly. They didn't get around it or go through it. You gave it to them. You gave them the keys. This made it harder for normal users to make accounts, but didn't really slow down the bots. Lastly, we added CAPTCHAs when a new user tried to join a lobby, and these would trigger again on spamming reports. This method slowed down the bots, but as long as we constantly work to add new CAPTCHA questions and actively work to brick blah 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 blah. More whining. This is all explanation as to why they're going pay to play, but it doesn't really explain why they're going pay to play yet. It's just all failed things that people told them wouldn't work. If you wanted to stop the bots, from what? Well, no. Why would I give them? Why would I give Town of Salem? Why would I give Blank Media the ability to stop the bots? I'm not going to tell them. Not that they'll watch this, but I'm not going to say how you would stop it. It's very easy to stop it. Currently, you have to think outside the box, but I don't think they think when they're inside the box. Currently, we can only keep up with the bots by devoting all our time to upkeep of the CAPTCHA system. Silly. The botters and spammers seem willing to devote all of their time to coming up with new ways to spam, troll, bot, and destroy Town of Salem. Every new system we add just to stop botters just hurts the new user experience more and more and motivates the botters to find a way around the system, which is exactly what the bot makers are trying to do. The bot makers made the bots so you would install a bunch of stuff that would hurt the player base. You fell right into it, and people told you this. You knew this. I really want to say the very easy way you can stop bots like this. Oh man, I want to say it just so people know I'm smart. But I gotta resist. I gotta resist that thing of wanting to be Mr. Right, and just because I'm not gonna give them the opportunity. I'm not gonna hand them a way to save their game. They have to figure that out themselves. I'm not gonna sit here and whatever. I want to say it so bad. The solution is going pay to play. No, it isn't. Even before botters, we have always struggled to keep a clean community against spammers, trolls, multi-accounters, game throwers, and downright toxic people. No, you did not. They did not struggle to keep a clean community against spammers, trolls, multi-accounters, game throwers, and toxic people. What they did was they got a big Kickstarter payment to make a trial system on Town of Salem. They got paid to make a trial system. And then they got a volunteer to make the trial system for free, and they kept the money. And the trial system is staffed by users. The user base and the volunteer who made your system are the ones who struggle to keep a clean game. Blank Media Games has not tried in the least. Hot takes. Hot takes, ladies and gentlemen. Who can make an alt account and be back on the game within 5 minutes of being banned. This is a common problem with free-to-play games. Now that we are no longer free-to-play, we will be having a very large focus on cleaning up the community and creating a fun and safe environment for everyone to have quality games. You're not going to get any different treatment. I can tell you this right now. If you buy Town of Salem, you will not get any help or special treatment from the devs of this game. They do not care. Even if you pay them, they will not be attentive. They will not respond properly. They will not respond correctly. They do not care. Even if you pay them. So don't fall into that trap. Just my advice. What will be the experience for new users? They will be able to register and log in, but we will be limited to friends chat and using the cauldron until they purchase an upgrade for their account. Man, Steam, Web Premium, and mobile all count for this. Do you have any plans for letting me play with my friends without purchase in the future? We are planning to add referral codes for premium users to give out to their friends. It will allow them to play a limited amount of games so they can try things out. So, that's very interesting. They're going to make a system where premium users can give a code to a friend so that the friends can play with the premium user. In other words, somebody has approved them and said, this isn't a bot, this is my friend, so let him on the free game. That's a pretty cool system, except when you see it says a limited amount of games. So what they've done here is they've provided a way for premium users to play with their friends, even if their friends haven't bought the game, which would be nice in general. But then they limited it to a certain number of games, after which the friend will no longer be able to play for free. So you can see, it's not really about keeping out undesirable elements so much as it is getting people to buy the game. Because if they just wanted to keep out undesirable elements, they could say, any premium user, any paid Town of Salem user, anybody who has the game on Steam, can give out a code, like a Jackbox game, can give out a code and have their friends play with them at any time. They could easily say that. They could easily do that. Anybody who owns the game or has a premium account can bring in friends to play for free. But what did they do? They limited the number of games people can play for free when they're your friend, meaning that they would eventually have to buy it. Isn't that interesting? It's not about keeping out the bots, because in the end, you still have to buy the game. What does this mean for the future of Town of Salem? Very, very bad. It's a very bad future. We feel that this move will be positive for the game, as well as all current and future users. The botters will not want to spend real money in order to troll. What if they do? What if the botters give you fake credit card numbers? What if the botters somehow scam their way in? I'm not saying they would, but if they did, this would all be for naught. What if the botters get into other people's accounts? What if they hack into other people's accounts and make them into bot accounts and get them banned? You know, it's just theoretical stuff here, because you haven't actually fixed the problem. What you've done is put a Band-Aid on it and said the problem is fixed. So there are problems that could come up, I'm just saying. Even if they do, they will be very limited in the amount of accounts they can make this way without committing credit card fraud. Yeah, exactly. This also means that every account has an inherent value to it, as being banned means you will need to buy the game to play again. Yeah, and oh man, I wonder if we're going to see an increase in bans so that people buy the game again. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, that's just me. I'm just wondering, because we've got so much money grubbing in the past. I always have to wonder where the money grubbing line is. Like, what wouldn't they do? I don't know. Any user that is suspended for breaking the rules will have to actually think about what they are doing, because if they end up permanently banned, they can't just make a new free account anymore, unless they get in on a friend code. But I'm just saying, better games in every facet should be much more common. We as developers can go back to trying to make a good game you never did in the first place, rather than focusing on how to stop botters or how to rework reports to stop toxic behavior. If you're focused on making a good game, why were there no new roles until you released a DLC? Why were there no new roles in your game for years until you had to make a DLC to compete with Throne of Lies? Why have there not been new roles since? You're not working on making a good game. You're not working on the game at all. What you're doing is creating ways to get money. Buy these scrolls, buy these cauldron ingredients, buy these things, buy these that. It's not to make a better game. It's to enhance the money-making aspect. Add one fucking new role. We will be working hard over the next few months to remove any alt accounts the botters may have stockpiled, as well as improving the suspension and AFK systems to encourage better behavior and quality games in the community. We believe that in a few short months there will be a drastic improvement in the quality of Town of Salem games. Alright, well, and then we got Achilles, the human garbage piece of trash, responding here. We're not going to read his... I'm going to leave this on the screen. You can read his snotty replies. I haven't even read them, but I know they're snotty. I'm just guessing, you know. Pyromonkey GG. We got all the developers in here basically to shout down anybody who disagrees, probably. I'm not reading them, so I'm just guessing, as I said. I don't know. It just seems interesting. It just seems interesting. I want to know. Let me know if you guys can't get in. Because it says if you've played one game. If you've played one game of Town of Salem, you're grandfathered in. It says if you played one game or bought something with real money. So if you've played one game, you should be grandfathered in, as it says right here. I just read this. So let me know if you're not grandfathered in, people. That'd be interesting. 6.5 million TOS accounts were grandfathered in. Jesus Christ. A lot of those are probably spam shit. Like from years past. I doubt very much they have 6.5 million actual people who registered. It's probably spam bots, you know, coming in, filling out registration forms to try to get into forums and stuff to register. Or to post. But yeah. I don't know. Crazy shit, crazy shit. What do you guys think about this? I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss. The bots won. The bots win the pennant. Never expected it. As I said, I hate to just drag this video out and kind of stammer a bit, but I never expected it. I never expected that they would actually cave. And it's not so much caving because now they get to run a pay-to-play game. How many members are there on here? How many members does this forum have? Do we know? They say they have 6.5 million players, right? Why is this not loading? Why is your site not loading? Is it being botted right now? How many of these... Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Where the hell is 23? Was I at 23? Whatever. So we've got 25 per page. And we've got 218,000. Let me just type this in here. 218,832. Okay. Let me just minimize out of this for a minute. That would be... So he said 6.5 million accounts were grandfathered in. Right here we've got... Because when you register for Town of Salem, you register on the forum, I believe. Is that correct? Aren't you registering on the forum when you register for Town of Salem? I could be wrong. That's how it used to be, I believe. Maybe they changed it. But if they didn't change that, if you are still registered on the forum when you register for Town of Salem. Actually, let's... Blank Media Games. Let's go. Let's look right now. Play now. Jesus Christ. The game based on Flash. I mean, Flash is going the way of the dodo, so probably it's good that they get rid of that. Shut up. Alright, so register. Yep. You register by joining the forum. You register by joining the forum. Okay. So, that means that the number of users on the forum are the number of users who have registered for the web-based version. So we've got 6,500,000 is how many players they claim there are, minus that. There we go. I forgot. I didn't put the commas in, so I was like, wait a minute. All right, so 1,029,200. So that would be how many sales they have on Steam? Interesting. Interesting. So, keeping in mind that they said they weren't grandfathering in all accounts. They were grandfathering in accounts that played one round or bought cosmetics or bought something from the shop. And they're saying that's 6.5 million. But we have less than 6.5 million who have registered for the free game. The people who bought the game on Steam wouldn't need to be grandfathered in because they already bought it. So something's weird about those numbers. Something doesn't make sense. By the way, if over 1 million people have bought it on Steam, it should be noted that less than 1,000 is the peak number of players on during the day. During November 4th, 960 people playing. Yeah. So fortunately, we do have some information here because on 7/6/2018, Valve leaked the number of player accounts for Steam games, which is very interesting because if we look on here, we can see the number of estimated players. Fucking going down there. Number of estimated players who own the game. And it's been leaked on this list here. So we just go for Salem, and here we are, 847,565. Not exactly 1 million something. So I'm wondering what the difference is in numbers here. Because they're saying 6.5 million have been grandfathered in, but they don't have 6.5 million players if you combine the free web version and Town of Salem. Now, is Coven different? Coven is not on the list here, so maybe Coven has the missing, what is it, players? I don't know. Maybe Coven has the missing players? I don't know. It just seems sketchy, and the only reason I'm looking into this is because I don't trust anything Blank Media Games says. So yeah, take a look at the numbers yourself. Somebody who's better with math than me, somebody who's better with numbers than this addle-brained, guy who can't do math. Check it out. See what you think. See if the numbers match up. See what you can figure out. I don't know. It just is interesting to me at the end of the day. If you take nothing else away from this, there's just one thing to remember. #bots win. By the way, I don't think I expressed well enough that a lot of these accounts are probably bots who register on PHP-BB forums. A lot of these accounts are probably bots. Not the bots that were created to spam Town of Salem, but general forum bots who are programmed to look for PHP-BB forums and then either post ads or, do something of the like that, because that's a big thing with forums. I don't know if most of you kids on your social networks today know this, but forums get sacked a lot by bots, coming and registering and, posting ads or putting ads in their signatures or something like that. So a lot of these accounts could be just fake. So, yeah. That adds even more question to the 6.5 million number if a certain number of the members on the free game are actually forum bots who registered for the forum and got counted as player accounts. I don't know. It's all crazy. It's all weird. I can't even unravel it, so good luck. I also wanted to note, I'm sorry for all this shit in this video. I also wanted to note that I saw this post on the feedback forum saying you're doing amazing, sweetie, and it just says, I love this, I love it, you're doing amazing, sweetie, and I was like, what is this even about? Why is this person so positive? And then I read the response from Pyromonkey GG, one of the developers. I have removed some angry parts of your post. So they just, if you're too angry, they just edit your post. I wonder what this originally said. Oh, that's interesting.